Imagine opening your banking app and seeing a healthy balance. You feel secure, responsible, maybe even a little proud. For generations, we've been told that saving money is the foundation of financial security. But what if that sense of safety is an illusion? What if the very thing you've been taught to trust your savings is quietly failing you? Today, we're exposing the hidden dangers of traditional savings, why your money may not be as safe as you think, and what you can do to protect your future before it's too late. Because in a world where inflation, low interest rates, and economic shocks are the new normal, the old rules of money no longer apply. If you're still relying on yesterday's advice, you could be setting yourself up for tomorrow's disappointment. Let's pull back the curtain on the illusion of savings and discover what it really takes to build lasting financial security. The comfort of seeing money in your account is real, but so is the risk of quietly losing ground while thinking you're playing it safe. It's time to rethink what financial security really means and how you can make your money work for you. In a world that's changing faster than ever, let's start with the story we all grew up hearing. Save your money, and you'll be safe. For decades, this advice wasn't just common sense, it actually worked. Banks paid real interest. Inflation was manageable. A simple savings account could genuinely grow your wealth over time. Our parents and grandparents built their entire financial lives around this principle. They worked hard, saved diligently, and watched their money slowly but steadily increase. For them, it made perfect sense. Today, interest rates are close to zero in most countries. At the same time, the cost of living is rising faster than most people's savings ever could. What once felt like a safe, responsible strategy has quietly become a losing one. Yet the vast majority of people are still following the old playbook, completely unaware that the game has changed. The myth of savings is incredibly powerful because it feels morally right. It feels responsible. It's what good people are supposed to do. Society praises savers and looks down on those who invest aggressively. But in reality, the entire system has shifted beneath our feet. The habits that once built real wealth now barely keep you afloat. Every year your money sits in a traditional savings account. It loses purchasing power, often without you even noticing. If you're still following the advice that worked for your grandparents, you're not just standing still, you're falling behind. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Inflation is the silent thief that eats away at your savings. Every year your money buys a little less groceries, rent, gas, everything creeps up in price. If your savings aren't growing faster than inflation, you're actually getting poorer, even if your bank balance looks the same. In the last decade, millions have watched their hard-earned savings lose purchasing power, all while feeling like they were doing the right thing. Inflation doesn't make headlines until it's out of control, but it's always there, quietly eroding your future. In some countries, inflation is a slow drip, barely noticeable at first, but relentless over time. In others, it's a sudden flood that wipes out years of careful saving in a matter of months. Either way, the result is the same. Your safe savings are shrinking in real terms, and the security you thought you had is slipping away. The only way to beat this silent thief is to make your money grow faster than prices rise. If you're not doing that, you're losing ground no matter how disciplined or responsible you are. The harsh reality is that standing still is no longer safe. In today's world, if your money isn't working for you, it's quietly working against you. Banks used to reward savers. Now they reward borrowers. With interest rates at historic lows, the money you keep in a savings account barely grows at all. In some countries, negative interest rates mean you actually pay the bank just to hold your money. Meanwhile, banks are far from idle. They use your deposits to make loans and investments that earn them far more than they pay you. The system is quietly stacked against the saver, and most people don't even realize it. The gap between what banks earn on your money and what they pay you, the spread, has never been wider. Your savings are making someone rich, but it's not you. The harsh reality is that banks are no longer your partner in building wealth. They're a business, and their business is using your money to make more money for themselves. If you're relying on a savings account to protect your future, you're playing a game you can't win. The rules have changed, but the marketing hasn't, and unless you adapt, Your hard-earned money will quietly work harder for the bank than it ever will for you. Savings accounts feel safe because they're familiar and stable. But stability isn't the same as security. In times of crisis like a banking panic, currency devaluation, or sudden government intervention, access to your money can be restricted or its value can be slashed overnight. History is full of sobering examples, from Argentina's Corralito, where people woke up to find their accounts frozen, to Cyprus's bank bail-ins, where ordinary savers lost a chunk of their deposits to rescue failing banks. Even in developed countries, governments can change the rules in an instant, leaving savers powerless. The illusion of safety can be the most dangerous trap of all. When you trust the system blindly, you're exposed to risks you can't see coming, risks that only become obvious when it's already too late. True security isn't about keeping your money in one place and hoping for the best. It's about building resilience, flexibility, and the ability to adapt when the world changes. In a world where the rules can shift overnight, the only real safety is being prepared for the unexpected. Why do so many people still believe in the power of savings, even when the evidence says otherwise? The answer is psychological. Saving feels good because it's simple, tangible, and praised by society. It gives us a sense of control in an uncertain world, a feeling that we're doing the right thing. But this comfort can easily become a trap. Behavioral economists call it status quo bias, the tendency to stick with what's familiar even when it no longer works. We're naturally wired to avoid risk, so we cling to the habits that once kept us safe, even as the world changes around us. The truth is, what worked for previous generations may not work for us. In a rapidly changing financial landscape, the greatest risk is refusing to adapt. If you want to thrive, you have to challenge your assumptions. Question the old rules, and be willing to do what most people won't. Embrace new strategies. Learn continuously, and take action before comfort turns into regret. So, if saving money isn't enough, what's the alternative? The answer isn't to stop saving, it's to save smarter. True financial security comes from making your money work for you, not just letting it sit idle in a bank. That means understanding the risks, diversifying your assets, and actively seeking out ways to grow your wealth faster than inflation can erode it. The world's wealthiest people don't just save, they invest. They put their money into assets that appreciate, generate income, and offer protection against the unexpected, like stocks, index funds, real estate, or even their own businesses. If you want to build real wealth, you have to move beyond the illusion of safety and start building a portfolio that can weather any storm. It's about creating a financial foundation that's resilient, flexible, and designed to grow, not just survive. In today's world, the smartest move isn't just to save, but to become an active builder of your own financial future. Many people think that by doing nothing, by simply saving and waiting, they're playing it safe. But in reality, doing nothing is often the riskiest move of all. Every year you wait to invest, you lose out on the power of compounding, the force that quietly turns small, consistent investments into real wealth over time. Every year your money sits idle, inflation eats away at its value, shrinking your future purchasing power. The cost of inaction is invisible, but it's real and relentless. Over decades, it can mean the difference between financial freedom and a lifetime of playing catch-up. The people who win aren't the ones who avoid all risk, they're the ones who take smart, calculated risks and let time work in their favor. If you're waiting for the perfect moment to start, you're already falling behind. In the world of money, standing still is never truly safe because the world and the value of your money is always moving. The most important change isn't just what you do with your money, it's how you think about it. Stop seeing yourself as just a saver and start thinking like a builder. Builders use savings as a foundation, but they don't stop there. They invest, create, and adapt. They understand that real security comes from resilience, not just routine. The world is full of people who save diligently but never built anything lasting. The ones who thrive are those who use their savings as a launchpad for growth, not a finish line. If you want to build a future that's truly secure, you have to be willing to step outside your comfort zone and take action. True wealth isn't just about protecting what you have, it's about growing, learning, and building something that lasts. The mindset shift from saver to builder is what separates those who merely survive from those who truly prosper, no matter how the world changes. History is full of stories where traditional savings failed ordinary people. In Argentina, millions watched helplessly as their life savings were wiped out overnight, when the government froze bank accounts and devalued the currency. In Cyprus, bank bail-ins meant that depositors lost a significant portion of their savings to rescue failing banks' money they thought was safe, gone in an instant. Even in stable countries, periods of high inflation have quietly destroyed the value of cash savings, erasing years of careful planning. These aren't just distant headlines or rare disasters, they're real warnings that the old rules can break down anywhere, at any time. The lesson is clear: if you rely solely on savings, you're at the mercy of forces beyond your control: government policy, economic shocks, and the unpredictable tides of global finance. The only way to truly protect yourself is to build a strategy that goes beyond the bank. Diversify, invest, and create a financial life that can withstand whatever the future brings. True financial resilience isn't about avoiding all risk. That's impossible. It's about managing risk wisely and building a system that can bend without breaking. That means creating multiple streams of income so you're never dependent on a single source. It means owning assets that actually grow over time: stocks, real estate, businesses, not just holding cash that slowly rots away. It means being prepared for the unexpected, because life has a way of throwing curveballs when you least expect them. It also means thinking globally, not just locally. The economy in one country might be struggling while another is thriving. Currency values shift, opportunities appear and disappear, and the people who survive and thrive in any economic climate are those who've built flexibility into their financial lives from the start. They don't just save passively, they invest actively, they learn continuously, and they stay ready to pivot when the world changes around them. Resilience isn't a single decision or a one-time setup. It's an ongoing practice, a way of thinking and living that prepares you for whatever comes next. In a world where the only constant is change, flexibility isn't just an advantage, it's survival. The comfort of a savings account is real, but so is the danger of standing still while the world moves on. If you want to protect your future, you need to see through the illusion and take action. Don't let your money quietly fail you. Make it work, make it grow, and build a future that's truly secure. The smartest investors aren't the ones who simply save the most. They're the ones who recognize when the old rules no longer apply, who adapt, and who act before it's too late. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below, and subscribe for more myth-busting, practical financial analysis. The world is changing fast. The real question is, will you change with it, or will you be left behind? The choice in your financial future is in your hands.